section in your order of service. And this week we have this additional announcement. The purge is coming. I know, it's not as scary as it sounds, I promise. On Saturday, August 29th from 9 to 4, we will be cleaning out our church spaces and sorting items for donation, resale, recycling, and trash. If you'd like to help, please sign up via the Sign Up Genius link in the newsletter, and make sure to join us on Sunday the 30th for free last chance items will be available in the fellowship hall. Take home anything that's useful to you. Everything left over will be donated. After our service, everyone is welcome to join us in the fellowship hall for coffee and snacks. And I would now like to invite Alexis up to ring the singing bowl and to help us enter into the service more deeply. Finally, having gathered in a shared quest for truth, meaning, and purpose, let us light our chalice with these words adapted from Julianne Lepp. We seek our place in the world and the answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth, wisdom, and welcome. And now, to help center yourself and quiet your mind, we'll have our music for centering.
Good morning, friends. Welcome in, welcome here. My name is Reverend Jaimie Simon. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and it is my privilege each week to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. Thank you for bringing here today the unique spark that is you into this community of care. All right. What if I just hold it? Does that make it easier? Clearly, yes. So we'll go with that. Beloveds, as we gather this morning, we enter with these words from my colleague, the Reverend Joan Javier Duval. You are beloved, and you are welcome here. Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth,
you are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful,
you are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort,
you are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises,
you are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment,
you are beloved, and you are welcome here.
In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, let us worship together. And as we begin, we gather and we sing together our opening hymn. Please rise in body or rise in spirit as you are able this morning to sing our opening hymn. It's number 317 in the gray silver hymnal. We are not our own. Let's sing together.
We are not alone, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, show us who we are. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all things living liturgies of care. Let us be a house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own.
Friends, as is our practice, after we sing our opening hymn, we sing our doxology and speak to one another our words of aspiration. Doxology and words of our aspiration are on these blue laminated cards in your pew back. Let's sing together. To speak our words of aspiration. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be a sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. I'll invite forward Jess Zelaya, our Director of Religious Education, to share with us our Time for All Ages. And I'd also invite any children amongst us who'd like to come forward for our story to come on up.
Good morning. So today we are talking about welcoming, and we are going to welcome someone new. Do y'all know who this is? Did y'all hear who this is? Can you tell us who you are?
My name is Rachel Rogers, and I am your new ministerial intern, which means I'll be here for the next 2 years learning about ministry as a part of your congregation.
So I'm going to ask Rachel some questions, and then you will get a chance to ask her some questions. So we're putting a big spotlight on her today. So what kind of things are you going to be doing here at UUCH?
Well, I'll be doing things like this, helping out in worship services. I'm also going to be spending some time in your CYRE and getting to know you all better and learning about how you do religious education. I'll be going to a lot of the grown-up-y meetings where we make plans and look at the health of the church, but really just being a part of your congregational life and showing up in all the fun places that you do too.
Can you tell us something fun about yourself?
Well, I shared this with one of our friends this morning, and I'm sharing this because I feel like maybe y'all will appreciate it, but I'm a really big Disney fan. I'm what a lot of people call a Disney adult. So I always tend to know all the new things that are happening in Disney, and I like Disney World a whole lot.
Okay. Do any of y'all have questions for Rachel? I think I saw Camilla's hand early on. Camilla, did you?
Really? You went to Disney with your grandma? That's awesome.
Okay. Alexis.
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, I've been to Disney World more times than my wife would like. And I'm not here to replace anybody. Nobody is leaving because I'm here. I'm just a new face to add to the other wonderful faces that are already part of your church. That's a great question.
Saoirse.
This year, probably this is probably the most exciting thing I've done this year. I also went on a really cool road trip. So I have 2 kids who are 8 years old and 5 years old. They'll be here with me sometimes. And with them and their other mom, we did a big road trip where we went to New Orleans for the first time. And that was also really exciting.
Florence.
You're watching Spidey on Disney, Spidey and His Amazing Friends. Do you like Ghosty? That's my daughter's favorite one.
Lorelai.
I opened a can of worms. I'm getting lots of Disney questions. And I have never been on a Disney cruise, unfortunately. Maybe one day.
Okay. Any questions not related to Disney? Nora.
So, are you here to help us make a better church?
I hope I can help make a better church, but I don't think I'm here because there's a problem to solve. I'm here because Reverend Jaimie and Jess and your whole church community are welcoming me here so that I can learn. So I'm not here because there's a problem to fix. I'm here to just learn and be a part of your church community.
Let's see. I saw a question from someone that hasn't asked a question yet. Lucas, did you have a question?
I was gonna say, did you go to Disney?
No.
Listen, if you have Disney questions, find me in the social hall after.
Jaimie. Reverend Jaimie has a
I
question.
have a question. Rachel, why do you want to be a Unitarian Universalist minister?
I knew there was going to be one that got me. Okay. How do I say this in a short way? I'll say that I knew I wanted to be a Unitarian Universalist minister when I was watching a minister. I was sitting in the pews at my home congregation in Nashville, and I saw our minister delivering a sermon, so like doing all the big talking part, and something just kind of washed over. Oh, well, first I thought, oh no. I thought, oh, that's a job, that's a role where all of me gets to show up. So I have loved church my whole life. I found Unitarian Universalism when I was a grown-up and fell in love with it and felt more at home in Unitarian Universalism than any other spiritual community. I also like to be in front of people. I have a theater degree. I like to talk. And I also love to help care for people and make communities. So all of those reasons, and probably a lot more, are why I wanted to follow this path to be a UU minister.
Okay, so that's going to be enough for questions right now. We're going to teach Rachel something, okay? And a lot of you have been in our program for a long time, and you will remember this. And a lot of you adults that have either helped with our program in the past or went through a UURE program as children yourselves will know this. But this is a children's statement of faith and chalice lighting that is used in many, many Unitarian Universalist churches. It was written by Gaia Brown. And I think some of y'all will know this, but you can follow along with me. So we are Unitarian Universalist. We are people of faith with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Together, we care for our world and work towards friendship and peace together. Like, shake your hands. Thank you for answering all our questions, Rachel.
Thank you for the questions.
So today is a multi-gen service, so we're going to return to our seats. And we will have some other parts where y'all will be involved in our service today as well. Okay, so go back to your seats. What?
We are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville, a proudly inclusive spiritual community. Together, we build a broader search for meaning, a bolder form of compassion, and a braver voice for justice. At this time, we invite you to support our mission with a monetary contribution. You may donate online using the QR code on your order of service, or you may put cash or check donations in the offering baskets. Completed Circle of Candles cards should also be placed in the offering baskets. You are invited to come forward during this time and quietly drop a stone into the bowl of water next to the ramp in honor or memory of what you hold in your heart. With gratitude, we now receive the offering.
Friends, welcome once again into our time of prayer, our time of reflection, our time where we share with one another the joys and sorrows that matter most in our lives, that bring meaning to our days, that keep us up at night and fill us with joy. This morning, I share these prayers from our community. Gary and Barbara Hitt would like us to light a candle of both joy and sorrow. Sorrow for the destruction and the people who died in the Colombian earthquake, and joy that Barbara and her friend Emily, who were visiting, came through it safely. We're so grateful that they are okay, and prayers for those people who've been impacted. Darlene Patton thoughtfully asks us to send our prayers and good wishes to church member Daniel Barr, who begins a new job up in New England and is moving away this week. We wish him well, though we'll miss him dearly here in our community. Kendra Camp shares a huge joy with us this morning. Kendra was previously diagnosed with congestive heart failure while her late husband was sick. She got the good news this week that it was actually broken heart syndrome, and her heart is now fully healed, strong and healthy. We hold you in so much love and joy this morning, Kendra, and are so grateful for this good news. And our friend, Reverend Doak Mansfield, shares that Kathy's not feeling well this morning and is having a mean migraine. We wish her well and hope she feels better soon. We hold you in our hearts this morning. Friends, in our community, we hold these joys and sorrows tenderly. We send our prayers and well wishes to all who are suffering, to all who have gone through the scary circumstances of life this week. And yet we know that there are beautiful sparks, joy, good news, experiences that mend some of the pain of life's journey, and we celebrate those together. For all that we have shared and all that remains silent and unspoken in our hearts, let us say amen and blessed be, and sing together in response hymn number 1009 in that teal hymnal, if you need it, Meditation on Breathing.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, when I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Today in our service, we are exploring the practice of welcome. How to welcome like a Unitarian Universalist. We know we can make others feel welcome with our curiosity, by asking deep questions, by listening intently, and taking the time to get to know them. But there are many ways, my friends, to practice welcome. I'd like to share with you a story that was originally told by Dawn Star Sarah's Borchelt. A story of welcome through generosity. Once upon a time, there was a family, and maybe this family had not quite enough to eat. Or maybe they had just enough, or perhaps they had more than enough. You might not have been able to tell. They might not have been able to tell. Sometimes it is hard to tell if you have enough or not. And it's hard not to want more or different things than what you already have. In any case, this family came together for a great celebration, a feast, a time of gratitude. Have you ever gathered with your family like that in a time of feasting and gratitude? I have. And they gathered around their table, and there was tasty food and refreshing drinks and beautiful flowers to remind them of beauty. And then they heard a call from the gate outside their door. "Hello! We're hungry and thirsty, and we see you have a feast. May we come in?" Well, the family didn't know how to answer that one at first. Who were these people at the gate? Was it safe to let them in? Did they have enough to share? Was there room? But then they remembered. They remembered that most of them had come to this family and to this celebration from somewhere else. They remembered what it felt like for them on that first time when they too had knocked on the gate and asked to be welcomed in. And they remembered times when they had been shared with, when people had offered something of theirs, even if they might not have had quite enough to begin with. They remembered when each new member of the family had been born or come to stay or married in. They remembered that they'd always found a way to make room. Another chair, a card table stuck to the end of the big wooden table, another portion scooped out of the big pot. And they remembered an old saying, maybe you've heard this: when you have more than you need, it's better to build a longer table than to build a higher fence. We have enough, they said to each other. We might have more than enough. We are many and strong, and we can hold a safe space here in our home for all who come. And so they went out to their door and to the gate in the fence, and they opened the gate, and they invited the people therein. Inside, they pulled out another table, and they made space for these newcomers. They covered it with a cloth. And the new visitors, they brought a dish too, something full of a fragrant, delicious new food that they'd never tried before. And everybody shared, and there was enough. Friends, welcome happens when we embody generosity. And generosity isn't just giving away what you know for sure you do not need. It's not making someone else a plate after you've had seconds and thirds and dessert. Generosity is when we give of what we have because we'd rather everyone get something than anyone go without. On the first Sunday of every month, we show generosity with food. Our incredible hospitality team puts on a potluck so we can all eat together. And every time we have our potluck, I say the same thing to you before I dismiss you to go eat. I say, whether you brought something or not, come and eat. We always have enough to share. And it's true, when we all bring together what we can, there is always enough to share. And we keep that lesson of welcome in mind inside our building and outside our building. You might have seen in our parking lot our little free food pantry, our community fridge that's out on the porch out front. Our church members and the different groups that rent our spaces, and the people of the wider community who care about food insecurity come day by day, week by week to fill the pantry and the fridge. And from that, people in our neighborhood have something to eat. And that simple act of generosity, sustained by all of you, brings a little bit more welcome to our world. The need in our world is great, but the generosity in our spirits is greater. May we welcome all with generosity. Now, friends, welcome is not just the questions we ask, or the food we share, or the sign on the door. Welcome is knowing that before you even arrived here, you were thought of, you were wanted, that just in case you might come soon, a space was made here just for you. We call this inclusion. A little over 10 years ago, when we moved into this new building, a big part of our reason for moving here was inclusion. The old building was beautiful in so many ways, but it didn't have enough space, and it didn't have an elevator to get between the two levels, which meant that some of our friends couldn't go to all the spaces in our building. And we decided that was not a good enough welcome. And so we bought a new place to be where everyone could feel included. And then about 5 years ago, we looked around at our new sanctuary, the place that was supposed to be so inclusive, and we saw a new problem. If you were here 5 or 6 years ago, you might remember this was missing, this ramp over here, and there was a bunch of stairs down the front. Does anyone remember when it looked like that? Yup. Thank you for participating, Sarah. I appreciate you. I remember it too. We were just getting to know each other in the midst of COVID, and I remember us looking around and saying, we want it to be easy for people who walk with canes or scoot along with walkers or roll around in wheelchairs or push babies in strollers to be able to come up here and speak at the pulpit or play the piano or sing in the choir. And the stairs just weren't good enough. They weren't cutting it. And so we did a remodel project, and now this ramp makes it easier for all kinds of bodies to move up to the front and be leaders in our church. As we learn and notice and grow as a community, we keep finding places where our welcome isn't good enough yet, where we could welcome better. Jess is going to come up and tell us about our most recent project that has helped us move towards deeper inclusion and accessibility in our church.
So about a year and a half ago, I had the idea that we needed another space and another open space for people to be in to participate in worship. And so I created the sensory room. And everyone uses it. A lot of people use it. We always have. I think we have like 4 people in there right now. I broke it. I broke the microphone. So it has a TV where you can watch service. And some people don't want to be in a room with lots of other people. Some people, the lights in here are a little much. For some people, the sound is too much. So our sensory room allows everyone, children to seniors, another place to be, but still be a part of our congregation. There are sensory fidgets available in there, along with other like full body type of activities. There's a swing, there's a plush rug, a spinning chair, a blackout tent, a nice couch. There's a boat that is currently in need of repair. I keep repairing it, and I don't know if it's going to make it. But everything in there is weighted for like 400 pounds, so adults can use it as well. And I know we have a lot of people who really enjoy it. I have a basket of fun fidgets. Also, our worship fun packs have lots of fun fidgets in it. These are wonderful for keep giving your hands something to do. I know, like me, I knit, and so I like sit and knit, and I can listen a lot better if I have something to do with my hands. But I'm going to ask a few of our kids. Raise your hand if you want to help me. Come up and grab a fidget, and then any adults that feel like they need a fidget to sit through the rest of this service, raise your hand, and I will have a child bring you a fidget. Jaimie, do you want to try to fix that?
Thank you, Jess, for sharing with us how we practice inclusion in different ways and for having such a fun way for us to all experience what inclusion can mean. As our kids continue to pass around the fidgets and share those around, also if you get one and your neighbor starts looking jealous of the fidget in your hand, feel free to pass them along, though Jess would like to have them all back at the end of service. The blue basket is going to be right here. As we experience these, let's take a moment of reflection to sing our centering hymn. It's number 1029, Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear. And I'm going to invite you to stay seated, stay in your spaces as we sing these words, but I'd encourage you to think about this fourth verse in particular. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin. May we make a community where the sound of welcome is always here within us. Let's sing.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin.
So friends, we have talked about how welcome comes through curiosity when we take the time to get to know others. How welcome can be shown through generosity when we share what we have and make sure everyone has what they need. Through inclusion, when we take a moment to imagine what others need and make a space for them with their needs and wants and hopes in mind. And our last story is going to help us remember how we learn welcome and practice welcome through and with boundaries. And the way we're going to learn this is through a story of two villages that my friend, Reverend A.J. Van Tyne, wrote for us, though it's based on a wisdom tale that's been told in many different places and ways. So once upon a time, there were two villages, and they were nestled between the mountains and two neighboring valleys. And because this is a fable, it was a different group of animals living in each village. One village was a village of pigs, and the other was a village of owls. The pigs and the owls made very good neighbors, and the valleys were equally bountiful. They wanted to share this bounty and their community, and so they invited and welcomed all animals of all kinds to come live with them in their valleys. And because this is a fable, every kind of animal you could imagine answered the call. They all came to live in the villages. There were ducks and rabbits and mice and sheep and wolves, you name it. There were so many animals of each kind. And they all lived their different animal lives in their villages, and it wasn't always easy to live together. Sometimes there were issues to figure out, disagreements to work through. Now, pigs are smart, compassionate creatures, and so they worked hard to be inclusive of all kinds of animals. And owls pride themselves on being wise and just, so they too wanted to treat all the animals with the same welcome. The pigs and the owls each tried to govern their villages with the principle of tolerance. Living from this principle, the pigs and the owls were able to lead their villages with relative peace and cooperation. Except a problem arose concerning the sheep and the wolves. You see, in this fable, to be a wolf means you are a predator to the sheep, and to be a sheep means you are vulnerable to the wolves. And so this problem existed in both villages, but they handled it in a slightly different way. In the village of the owls, the sheep went to the owls and said, "Owls, please do something about the wolves. Otherwise, they will prey on us and eat us, and we won't feel safe here." Now, the owls brought the wolves before them, and the wolves said, "You know, what makes this village great is the tolerance you have for all the animals of all kinds. Please prove your great tolerance and let us remain, though we are predators to the sheep." The owls heard both of these requests and took time to think about it. Most of the owls felt that the wolves had made a very good point about tolerance. How could they call themselves tolerant if they kicked out a certain kind of animal? They decided that tolerance was a moral absolute, that they had to be completely and impartially tolerant of all animals in order to live out their principle of tolerance. And so they let the wolves stay. They told the sheep that they were being tolerant, and that because theirs was a tolerant village, that made it safe for every kind of animal. So the sheep should really have nothing to worry about. Some of the sheep believed this, some hoped it would be true, and others weren't so sure. Meanwhile, in the village of the pigs, the wolves made the same argument. They said, "What makes the pig village great is the tolerance you have for animals of all kinds. Please prove your great tolerance and let us remain, though we are predators to the sheep." And the sheep of the village went to the pigs and said simply, "Please do something about the wolves. Otherwise, they will prey on us and eat us, and we won't feel safe here anymore." The pigs heard both of these requests, and they took time to deliberate, but unlike the owls, the pigs were more persuaded by the argument of the sheep. How could they call their village tolerant if it allowed wolves to prey on the sheep? They decided that tolerance was a quality of a community, a quality that they had to protect in order to live out their principle of tolerance. And so they did not tolerate the wolves, at least not without conditions. They told the wolves that they were welcome to stay because it was a tolerant village, but they couldn't eat the sheep because that was going to make it unsafe for the other animals. So the wolves would have to change. They'd have to stop eating the sheep or else find another community to be a part of. The sheep breathed a sigh of relief. The wolves, however, were very upset. They yelled and hollered and howled that the pigs were not nearly as tolerant and generous as the owls, and they went over to the owl village. Now, over time, the two villages continued to change, but not because new kinds of animals arrived. It happened gradually at first, but in the village of the owls, there started to be fewer and fewer and fewer sheep. At first, a few disappeared mysteriously, and then more and more disappeared, and then the number of sheep left to go join the village of pigs, because they could see that clearly the wolves were preying on the sheep. Even though the owls told them there wasn't anything that could be done because they had to tolerate the wolves, just as they had tolerated the sheep. Then some of the other animals began to disappear as well, the ducks and the rabbits. And so all of them joined the sheep and moved to the village of the pigs. And that is the story of how these two villages came to be. The village of the pigs that tolerated everybody except the wolves maintained a diverse community with many kinds of animals. And the village of the owls that tolerated everybody ended up having only owls and wolves. Friends, as Unitarian Universalists, we say each week, all are welcome here. And we mean it. All are welcome to join us. All are welcome to experience our liberal religious community where we ask big questions and sometimes come to different conclusions. All are welcome to be leaders in our community. All kinds of people can be leaders here. And all people are welcome to bring their gifts and their truths and their needs and their hopes to this sacred place. All people are welcome. But friends, all behaviors are not welcome here. We strive to be the village of pigs, maybe the village of jet pigs, if you know the funny acronym for our new UU values. We in this village know that there are behaviors that are harmful to others that cannot happen here, that we cannot allow to happen here because they violate our covenant and they would make other people who are part of our community unsafe if we let them happen. We say you are welcome here, and we mean it even if you have much more to learn about the systems of power and oppression that impact marginalized people in our communities. And also, equally true, slurs, harmful jokes, mean comments, microaggressions, assaults on people's identity made over and over, repeated after you've been corrected, that is not welcome here. That can't happen, and we will tell you no and to stop, and we will take action to see to it that it does not continue. Friends, people are welcome, behaviors are not. And you are welcome here if maybe your speech patterns or your body language or your connection to sort of neurotypical social scripts differ from the norm. It's okay to be awkward here. It's okay to have different ways of interacting with other people. It's okay to want clear, direct communication and not pick up on subtlety. But it's not okay to ignore someone if they tell you to stop something or tell you that your actions are making them uncomfortable or ask you to take a step back, try again another day. We know that consent matters more in this community. We teach it to our children and we teach it to our adults. And so we say all are welcome, but not all behaviors are welcome. You each are welcome here, and we want you to feel welcome, but we want that welcome to mean something, and to mean safety, to mean connection. Welcome to a space where we let harm happen to you isn't a very loving welcome at all, is it? It's not good enough. It's not a good enough welcome for us to offer. And so through our covenant, the promises that we make to one another on how we will act and how we will grow and what we will do when inevitably we make a mistake and have to try again, those boundaries we have around our community, that is how we welcome in a healthy and safe way. So when I say you are welcome here, I mean you are welcome, and we have set up our community to keep you safe and happy and whole. Through curiosity, generosity, inclusion, and strong, healthy boundaries, we welcome like the Unitarian Universalists we are. We welcome all who would join us. We welcome you, each of you, in the unique ways that you are, and we hope you practice that welcome as you grow and learn and connect here. As we close, I invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing with me our final hymn. It's called Rooted in Fertile Ground, and the words and music are in your order of service.
We are rooted in fertile ground, fertile ground. We are rooted in fertile ground, and our roots go deep and our love abounds. We are rooted in fertile ground, fertile ground. May compassion be our guide as we offer up our lives in the service of justice, peace, and love. May our faith and hope abide. We are building a better way, better way. We are building a better way. As we work and dream, we are on our way. We are building a better day. May compassion be our guide as we offer up our lives in the service of justice, peace, and love. May our faith and hope abide. We're creating a world of love, world of love. We're creating a world of love, world of love, where each living soul always has enough. We're creating a world of love, world of love. May compassion be our guide as we offer up our lives in the service of justice, peace, and love. May our faith and hope abide.
Let us now take a moment to extinguish our chalice with these words from Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, our worship service now comes to a close. Rachel and I will be at the back of the sanctuary to greet you, and everyone is invited to join us in Fellowship Hall for coffee and snacks. As we share in our time of fellowship, I encourage you to introduce yourself to someone you may not know yet and get to work practicing our collective welcome this morning. Friends, go out in love. Be bold and brave, conscientious and kind. Offer what you have found here to all you meet. Sow curiosity and generosity in all you do. Practice inclusion wherever you go. And hold the lines that must be held so that all may flourish together. Amen. Blessed be. And let us go out singing our rite of community. May I be light in you.